Okay, what pens will I play with today? Or should I make fish? I found some nice cardboard to make fish. I'm trying to get pens that I don't use at my desk and move them back to my house half. Would I use this at my desk? It's a very springy nib. I think I probably would use this here. What are your thoughts? It's very, very sharp. Why is it so sharp? It's very springy. This is one of those nibs that has for a fountain pen, very fast return, which normally fountain pens don't have for some reason. Another Waterman. Lovely nib, but I don't think I need this one at my desk. So this one can go back in my collection. It's supposed to have a little bit more of a cap lip on this thing, but it's missing. So pen purists would fault it. Thankfully, I'm not a pen purist. I have a client that wants a nib that's kind of like this one, except he wants it to be finer and not as flexible. This is close to what he wants. This one is very, very springy. These are all dip pen nibs, Victorian era dip pen nibs that are gold that I have smoother paper that I have fitted into a holder, making essentially a Frankenpen. And this one is quite springy as well. But I am trying to tidy my drawers here up because I discovered one of my pens had a bent, broken nib. I do have desk pens here, but the bases take up too much room, so most of them are just in a drawer. I still haven't gotten your pens together, Melissa. I don't, my some device of mine is making a noise, but I don't know what device it is. Oh, well, and you can pay me another time. You don't have to, if I send them to you, you don't have to pay me right away. Wow, this is really neat. Okay, good. Did you enjoy yesterday's chat with Alicia? This is very scratchy. It should be way closer so you can see how this is writing, but well, it is fun. I mean, it's a nice way to get connected with someone is to talk about shared interests, but also to be playful and a little wacky. It's pretty sweet. This is missing its lever, so unfortunately it's not a pen I can carry around with me, but it's a pen that I can have at the desk. Oops. Okay, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm keeping all these pens here. I'm supposed to be thinning them out. This one I can thin out. This is a nice wool number 3 nib. Missing a lever, but you can put this with my wool collection. The people I collect. Yeah, collecting people is a different kind of a thing, but yes, it is fun. Oh, very swanky. This is very rubbery. This one I feel I can sort of push around without fear. Very bent up. This looks like it had been slammed in the door of the Duesenberg. Yeah, attract might be a better word. That one can come home. These are all these kind of pens. This is a wool nib. Let's take this home, take this back. This is another wall without another one without a lever. And this is the one that has the dip nib in it. So I'll leave this one here. Okay. Does this say wall on it, or does this say something else? It says Waterman. Why does this say Waterman on it? This is a wall pen. No reason for this to say Waterman. I'm going to take this nib out, put it in a Waterman barrel where it belongs. I think this nib might be damaged, which maybe is why. I'll just leave it in here. Seems to like it. The nib, I think, has a little tiny crack, which is why it's flexible. There's the breather hole is here, and I think there's a little crack doing that. So I think this is on sort of borrowed time, but it can stay in that pen until it does break. I love Waterman pens. I think they are among the nicest pens out there. They have nice flexible nibs. I don't know if, you with the vertical handwriting that you have, I'm not sure they would be good for you. I'm going to take this one out. Put this back in my drawer somewhere. These are a bunch of desk pens I have at my desk that don't have sockets. I have them in a drawer, sort of a flat file drawer, and they don't always stay where they're supposed to stay. They slide down and break. I don't like that. Now, this is a sweet nib on this thing. Wow. Really neat, this one. This one is not so neat. This is very fine and not very flexible. This is finer and more flexible. What else do I have here? Another Waterman. This is going to be, this is a rounded nib. This is good for, this would be a good one for you, but I can't sell it to you. So this is the one that they made for lefties. It's a yellow nib, which you know can write with a hook backwards. It has a very rounded, slightly upturned snout on it. Very springy. Look at these lovely things. This, I think, is very, very fine. If I remember correctly. Some of these I remember. I put this really fine nib in a very slender holder just because I thought it would make sense. Help me remember. This is a Waterman red nib, which was their standard. This was the standard nib that they made at this time. This was when they made this pen, they color coded the nibs, and the red was medium flexible, I guess they might have called it. I don't really know what their name was, but it was essentially the very typical Waterman nib, and consequently it's very easy to there's another red one, very easy to, just as an expected standard Waterman springiness to it. They were as reasonably priced as any pen. Every pen company made fancy pens and less fancy ones, and Waterman made both fancy and plain, we'll call it. Now, I don't think here, this is not fitting. Do I have any other Waterman pens up here? No, those are Waterman. There's some Watermans. Oh, those are all stubs. They have to stay there. Boy, I've got a lot of pens. I have a lot of pens. I'm deciding. I guess I knew that before, didn't I? Here's the one I fixed that had the nib that was completely broken or bent. A Waterman. I'm putting all my Waterman desk pens in one basket. I'm putting all my Watermans in one basket. I'm running out of room here. You don't think you have 20 yet? Well, you don't need more than 20. 20 is a good number. Okay, I'm going to put this up, move this over. Okay. Let's see if I can do this, make some sense out of this. The gallery show is going okay, Will. I've hung most of what I need to hang, I think, and so things are looking okay. There's a few odds and ends I need to deal with, but it's going well. Eversharp. Go here. Let's go here. Sheaffer. Conklin. Sheaffer. Sheaffer. Conklin. Sheaffer. Sheaffer? No. Chilton. Moore. Parker and stuff. Sheaffer. Well, when you say they need nib work, what are you thinking? They just don't write for you to your taste, or what? Oh dear. Well, the Targa is going to be hard to fix, and the Sheaffer or the 45 shouldn't be that hard to fix or replace. Didn't you get one from me? Is that the one that did I send you a bent nib? Oh, congratulations. It's nice to win pens on eBay. This is a broken nib that I cut down, filed down. So it's just this big, I'm writing on the gold, but it's like a paintbrush. Might come in handy to do some kind of drawing or writing. I once had a customer who had really, really horrible eyesight, and he asked me to, or I went to his office, and he had this huge like overhead projector that he had set up so he could see what he was doing, and um, he'd want nibs like this. So I'd say, well, the only way to do this is to cut the nib down. And he said, yeah, I do that. I said, well, I've got a bunch of nibs that are broken. Let me take a broken nib and turn them into these things for you. And he bought a couple of pens, or I did something, I don't remember what, but it was really amazing to have that customer for a short time. He was quite old. I'm sure he's long dead. This is a stub nib, as is this one, though a slightly different kind of a stub, more flexible. And this, what the hell is this? Ooh, very, very prickly stub. Wonder if this is broken. Here's my loop. This might be broken. No, there's iridium there. Not much of it. It is a stub, though. It is a pointed, a sharp side stroke and thicker downstroke, but really, really tiny. One could write very small Germanic lettering with this. Nacht. I have only maybe a dozen, and they're sort of weird ones. They're not necessarily rare. They're some are old hard rubber. Some are have interesting engravings on them. Some are the more modern ones after I don't know, they're just, I'll have to do one on my Ester books at some point. I don't know what they were called. But I do have maybe 10. And occasionally I have them for sale. I used to buy and sell them all the time. But they're quite popular these days, so they used to sort of be ignored by pen collectors, so I'd be able to buy them relatively cheaply and sell them cheaply. But now it's another story. Is this the one I just tried? Is this a different one? Can't remember. This is a neat pen. This is a sign making pen. You know, if I dipped it in ink, well, dip it in ink here. Dip it in ink. God bless. It's kind of like the Pilot Parallel pens, which I don't use very often, but it's sort of fun when I do. I wonder what these things are. Why are these up here all by themselves? Schaefer. Needs a nib. Schaefer, Parker, Schaefer. I didn't try these nibs out here. This is almost a stub. It's a sort of pointed, put that in with the stubs. Very fine. What is this thing? Hmm. Metal. I'm mumbling here, folks, as you can tell. So, Lito, are you still here? What swans did you buy? Should I see if I can find them on eBay? Or would that be not nice? No, I don't need to see what you bought. You can show me when you get them. What kind of nibs do you think? Oh, they came in today? Do you want to show them to me? Us? I can invite you in. If you want. Lito, would you like to invite? Anyone else can come in too if they want to. Up to you. Click on that and I'll invite you in. Well, Hodge, if you have pants on or not, you can come on. And Lito, anyone. Oh, thank you, thank you. It was really nice finally getting her on camera with me. I really enjoyed the conversation. It was fun saying things that made her smile even more than or differently than she normally does. She's such a happy person. I was trying to find the tulip clipped Eversharps. I thought I had some, and I guess I don't. Pants optional. Well, as long as you don't aim your camera down, you don't have to wear pants. Pants are always optional with you, Will. Nice nib. They're all nice nibs here. I'll put these in my drawer to see if I can one day fix the lever. I don't think I'll be able to. It's more than my pay grade. Well, 2 is a good number to have. They're beautiful pens and lovely nibs. So you can't go wrong, I don't think. This one is so funny. It's just completely bashed in. Aha! Here we have someone. Andrew. Oh, you went away. Come back. The most I ever paid for a fountain pen was $3,000. And I sold it for $35,000. So much for that story. Or was it 30,000? I forget. It was a Waterman 404. No, it isn't too personal. It's a pen that was way out of my league, but it just completely wowed me. And that was what the book said it was worth, and that's what the guy wanted to sell it for. And I bought it, and I had it for a few years before selling it to a friend of mine here in Boston. So he has it now. It's called a Waterman 404, and it was broken. The pen was broken on top of it. Not a important break, but there was part of it was broken. And the it was an amazing piece of art. Beautiful, beautiful pen. Somewhere here I have a picture of it, though I don't know where. It was very highly repoussé. If you look under Waterman 404 Lily, you might get a picture of it. I could probably try to find a picture of it. I sold it for $30,000, yeah. Waterman 404 Lily. Snail pattern. I don't want a snail pattern. I want the lily. The snail pattern is common. So it looked kind of like this. This is not the lily. I don't know what this is. Oh, that's hideous. Okay, none of them are here. Waterman 404, Waterman pen, 404 Lily. See if this works. No, I don't see it here either. 404, Waterman 404. Let's try that. Okay, here's the 404 Sterling snail pattern. Okay, so this is just a minute. Well, what does this say? It was very heavily sculpted, where in order to make this pattern, it's not cast. It's a smooth piece of sterling, and you push down and you pound up from the inside, and you push down and pound up, and you build this sculptural relief pattern. And it's amazingly beautiful, and it's very three-dimensional. And when I saw it, I was going to pick it up to sell it up at the auction, the pen show, and I said, if you are still willing to sell it to me, I'll buy it. And I had $3,035 in my bank account. So I bought it for $3,000, and I ended up, okay, here is a pen that's similar to it, 1890s. This one sold for $17,000. 404 sterling silver. It looked kind of like this. It had a big flower carved in the middle, but the leaf patterns on this is different. But it was similar to this pen, and this one sold for 17 grand. I think the pen I had was much nicer. Did you find it? Waterman fountain pen 404 Lily. Okay, let's see if I can type that. Waterman pen 404 Lily. There were a couple of different kinds, but they're all handmade. And actually, I found, I found a second one, which I didn't buy. I told the friend that bought my other one, I told him about it, and he has two now. They might be the only two in the world, but I don't know. I don't know what you found, but what's coming up to me is not the 404 Lily. Maybe if you send me the link, I can see if it is. Waterman fountain pen for Lily pattern. I didn't write pattern. Pattern. No, nothing is coming up here under images. Oh, maybe it was snail pattern. Images. It was pictured in Penworld magazine, the two of them side by side, and I wrote an article with the owner of them both now, Peter Markman, and he and I wrote the article about the pens, and it was a tug of war between a screwdriver and the Venus de Milo, and they were both pulling this pen. Peter thought the pen was art, and I thought the pen was a tool. And so we talked about what is the difference between I said, if you had a toothpick that was carved like that, would it be as interesting to you, even if it exactly looked like that thing, but it was a toothpick or a toothbrush holder or something? He said, no, it had to be a pen. And I thought, well, but you don't talk about the use of it. I didn't understand. Artofpen.com. Okay, let's try that. Artofpen.com. Okay, why aren't I going all? Artofpen.com. Welcome, Alan. So what do I do? Other rare pens. Pens for sale, other rare pens. Well, send me the link in an email, Melissa. That way I'll, there's one of them, but that's not it. That's not it. That's not it. It's kind of close, but that's not it. That's not it. No, no. Oh, these pens make me depressed because they're so beautiful and I don't own these. It's amazing. Parker Snake. Yeah, a lot of these pens are just breathtakingly beautiful, but there was a point at which I realized I didn't need pens of that type. I have a couple of nice pens that are quite beautiful, but they're not so overly fancy that I can't deal with it. Well, let me just see if I can find a picture of this thing. I recently found my neighbor photographed the pen, and I discovered it, and I put it over here somewhere, and of course now I can't find it. I don't know. I mean, those pens are quite a bit more common, and I don't. Any pen that's over $1,000, I really don't know the values on those. Let me just try Penworld Magazine 404. See if there's a picture of it here. Penworld Magazine 404. Images. Nope. Well, I'll try to find it. I'll show you one day. I did drawings of it, one of which this man that bought it from me bought, paid me to do these drawings of it, which I did. And anyway, it's somewhere within 5 feet of me, but I've got so many piles of stuff that I don't know whether I could put my fingers on it. The snail pattern, one recently sold. One person who has a Instagram listing puts, or Facebook listing, I don't even remember what it was. He posts pens for sale, and he sold one for, I think, $1,500 or something like that. Okay, let me just see if I can find this thing. It has to be here. Who knows? Who knows? Give up. Clearly, I'm not giving up. I'm still looking. I should have put it like right up here, right on my desk here somewhere, because that's where it should have gone. Should be right here. Oh well. Sorry. I'll find it sometime. I have a copy of the magazine, I'm sure, somewhere too, but finding that is not going to be easy. Well, folks, I need some water in me, so I'm going to say goodbye, and we'll catch you all later. See ya.